How do you deal with a husband who's never home? That's a tough one. My name's Dr. Jon Dabach. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to dive into this in this short talk today and what you can do to try and fix this relationship. Because the truth is, if you're not spending time together, if you're not able to connect as much as you want to connect in a marriage or in a relationship, then it's a broken relationship. And you need to learn how to fix it, how to deal with it, how to actually tackle those problems. So, a man who's never home or rarely home could be for a number of reasons. Could be that he works a lot and it's difficult, right? That he just works long hours. Could be that he works away, right? He has to travel for work. And the last possible scenario that I can think of is that the husband is just, he stops at the bar, he socializes, and he's not home because he doesn't feel the need to come home or he doesn't feel wanted at home. And so each one of those is slightly different, but they all have the same net effect, which is you're not getting the connection that you want in the relationship. So what do you do? How do you fix this? First thing is to communicate it clearly. Sometimes you need to give men space to process. This is not one of those times. You need to bring this up and say, "Hey, you're not home very often, and it's very hard for me, and I need to figure out how to work with this because, to be honest, I was hoping for more in this relationship, and it doesn't seem like we're on the same page, or it doesn't seem like our lives are lining up. Let's come up with strategies, solutions on how we can connect on a more consistent basis." Yeah, that's the way you talk about it. Now, if it's because he doesn't want to come home, he's socializing, he's out drinking with his friends or whatever, that's one conversation. If there's work that gets in the way, he's going to say, "Well, what do you want me to do? I got to work." And there are some solutions for that, right? You can say, "Hey, why don't I stay up 30 minutes later? And when you come home, I know you're tired, but at least we'll be able to lay down together on the couch and watch some TV or spend 10 minutes," right? It's amazing how much you can actually connect in 5 or 10 minutes with your partner if you take the time to make it count. Don't underestimate what a good 5-minute cuddle session on the couch or on the bed before you guys pass out, where you're literally holding each other saying, "How was your day?" That is incredibly impactful. When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you could remember having a relationship with a friend where you did that, or a family member? They don't exist. That is something unique to a romantic relationship. And that 5 minutes is enough to get the oxytocin flowing. It's enough to get the hormones, the juices pumping through your body and your brain. It's incredibly effective. So if you're short on time because of work obligations, know that you can really be efficient in connecting in some way. And I hope that you'll be able to plan weekends together or vacation and get some good long-term, long-form quality time, but don't fall asleep on the short stuff. It really can make a huge, huge difference. Now, if it's not about work, and if it's really just the person is not coming home, the husband, the boyfriend's not coming home, first thing you need to do is set boundaries. You need to say, "I'm not okay with this. I realize that I maybe wasn't articulate enough in the past, but I want to be clear. You not coming home and not spending X amount of time with me, whatever that is a violation of the relationship to me." And so, one, is that a boundary that you can agree to? If not, you probably have to leave the relationship. Right? If you say, "Hey, I need 20 minutes a night with you," and you're out with your friends, that's not okay. You need to come home by a certain time so we can have our 20 minutes. And they say, "Well, I'm not interested in doing that." Chances are your relationship's in big trouble. So if you announce the boundary and they don't want to honor it, you have to consider if that relationship is really going to serve both of you, because it doesn't sound like it's serving you. And that might be an instance where you need to go see a couples therapist to really kind of figure out if there's something underlying that they're not saying to you that they want to, but feel like they're going to be too offensive. There's a lot of different things that can go on in that situation. But chances are, if someone's being that callous and that cruel right off the bat when you're trying to set a boundary, assuming you're setting it with a very compassionate tone, something is broken in the relationship, and you have to find out if you can fix it or if it's just where you guys are in two different planets and there's no point in continuing the relationship. Very different situations. Assuming you do want to continue the relationship, you plan the quality time like we talked about, but you also need to express appreciation. So when they do come home and they spend that extra time and they go with the plan, they're actually able to spend the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes, shower them with gratitude. It's amazing to me how many men have come through my office willing to break their back and do everything for their wife and give them everything and not ask for anything in return except a thank you. That's all they're really looking for. Right? Men love paying. So many men love paying for things, love showering women with gifts, love being the big cheese who takes their friends out and spoiling their kids and taking them on camping vacations and doing everything and helping even with the bookkeeping and the taxes and the homework. And most of them, what do they really want? A thank you. So give it to them without them asking. If somebody has done something for you and they followed the plan to a T, you might think to yourself, why do I need to say thank you? That was the plan. Because it's the right thing to do, damn it. That's the right thing to do. My wife does the laundry. I do the dishes in the house. That's how we broke up the chores. Every time she does the laundry, I say thank you. It's her job. It's expected. I do the dishes, right? But every time that laundry is done, I say thank you because I'm grateful. And guess what? She says thank you about the dishes. That's proper behavior. That's proper relationship etiquette. Say thank you. It costs you nothing. It doesn't make you weaken the relationship. It makes you grateful. And it's impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. So consider it a gift for yourself. When you show gratitude, you're staving off depression. Okay? Good thing. Good things. Another thing you're going to want to do if your husband is coming late is get involved in his world. Figure out why he needs to decompress. Does he have friends that he likes? Does he like to throw darts at the bar? Does he have this one friend that he goes over and he has a cup of coffee? Is that friend going through his own problems in his marriage or at work and he feels obligated? Get involved with what is going on and really start to understand if he's doing it because he needs to or feels obligated by something else. And if he feels like he needs to, see what's missing in the relationship. See if you can fulfill that for him. And oftentimes when you come at this with compassion, you say, is something wrong? You're not coming home. Is something the matter? When you have that kind of compassion, one of two things will happen. Either they'll break down and say, I'm having such a hard time. Thank you for that, right? They'll actually come clean and say, yes, it's been hard. Or they'll say, no, you're right. I should be coming home. And then they come home. Now, obviously, there's a third option, which they say, no, you're right. I should come home. And they still don't come home. Different issue. At that point, seek professional help. Somebody's stuck somewhere. You need to kind of break through it. But you can do 80% of this work on your own. There's a reason self-help books work for a lot of people because you can change your own life. Now, when you need a professional, right? That's why people like me exist. There's no shame in asking for help, but you can try a bunch of stuff on your own. The other thing you should do is if you're really, if he's really out to lunch and not coming home, focus on your own life a little bit. Build your own social network. Try to make your life as full as possible because if he's refusing to talk to you, refusing to come home, you deserve to have a life too. If it means that the relationship is dying, you deserve to have a life once it's over. And so you have to start thinking to yourself, but that's the last thing I would worry about. Try to fix it first, right? If you can't fix it, focus on your own life and see what happens. Sometimes that creates jealousy. Sometimes if he sees that you're going out too, he'd be like, oh, I better get home. I didn't realize she has a life too. Some men are stupid like that. I hate to say it. We're a dumb species, what it is, but sometimes you need a little bit of a kick in the pants. So that can work. And lastly, Make the environment at home welcoming. In addition to gratitude after they show up, when they walk through the door, try to forget about all the times they didn't walk through the door. When they walk through the door, say, I'm so glad to see you. Give them a hug, give them a kiss, have the cold beer waiting for them, right? Offer to connect. When you walk through the door as a man and people are excited to see you, your wife or your kids or even your dog, it's a good feeling. It's a great feeling. And if you make that feeling when they walk through the door feel great and special, they're going to walk through the door more often and they're going to look forward to that moment of connection. And that's what you want. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm Dr. Jon Dabach, and I'll see you next time.